Hello, this is Bullshit here, and yeah, I know it's been a few months already since I last uploaded. And the first thing y'all get is a disc review, I know. And to be honest, from the looks of it, y'all seem to be enjoying them. And that's kind of a good thing, and yeah, so. And this one, I am literally a month late to, and I'm sorry for that, but yeah. But I think it's one I kind of need to review myself. I've used it before. But again, I still think it's important for me to review. Despite me being late to it by a month, and the entire community has reviewed it. But the thing is, this distro has brought so many it's been quite a big deal for Ubuntu. It's brought in a lot of features compared to the last couple, compared to 20.04. The LTS versions usually bring in a lot of features compared to previous LTS versions, but this LTS version, the thing that set it apart from the other LTS versions was that it added more than there was. Like, there was more, like literally more in this than there was more added in this LTS version than there was added like from 21.10 to 22.04, and there was 21.04 to 21.10. So this was definitely a big LTS. And usually Ubuntu updates really aren't that big. So yeah. So of course, starting up, for one, we get the default GNOME little startup thing, which basically just says, well, part of it, which is connect your online accounts. Of course, I'm not going to do it, but here's the thing: you connect one of these. GNOME, I believe, comes with an email client. No, I don't know that. It comes with something that utilizes the emails stuff. Calendar, documents, photos, more. That's basically underlining. And then you got good old Ubuntu's trademark right there, the software updater, which I think I need to talk about that a little, okay? Then you got help improve Ubuntu. There are people that complain about this being ticked on to send system info to canonical by default. I'll be honest, I really am not the person that cares way too much about it as much as others, but most people are a lot of people are going to tick no. I'm going to tick no, just why not? So yeah, location services. There's not many programs on Linux that demand location services. Plus, a lot of people in the Linux community just don't like location services, and don't like their privacy being. We don't like our privacy being invaded. That's a big thing, and location services are one of the bigger things that violate our privacy. So we just keep that off mostly. And there you go. It gives us some apps we can just quickly go to. In fact, we don't click on them yet. So it literally has an open software button right now, which you click on. It literally just pops up in here, which I think we can all tell is a forked variant of GNOME software. I'm gonna leave you in the background for now. So what the heck is this software updater? So here's the thing: no matter what version, like how you install Ubuntu, this thing's gonna pop up most of the time. And this is Ubuntu's way of making it easier to install updates on Linux. Well, more user friendly. As normally on most Linux distros, and how it was for a long time, it's not changed, but you can still do it anyways, even on Ubuntu. You'd had to type the command. Ubuntu, in fact, it was 2 commands. Back in the day, you even had to It wasn't just apt, it was apt-get. Yeah, do that. It's held by another program. And then after that, you gotta do upgrade on Arch, which I just throw the VM out of the way. Pop myself up on a terminal right here. Like on Arch, we just do updates like this. I don't know what's up with the internet speeds right now. They're quite rare. Screen shared, no crap. Yeah, I think we could. Yeah, well, let's just bring this back over here and. Yep. Yeah. Well, what Ubuntu does, it does this. So there's a little program called Software Updater that reminds you once in a while. And hey, you got updates. Some of them are just security updates. Which usually the updates are the geek stuff. Like the dependencies for files and like stuff. That's usually grouped up under half of these, and they're grouped under Ubuntu base usually. Because no one's going to understand like what the heck GTK is when they see it. Like they're when they see it, like they're gonna be like, what the heck's GTK? They're not going to know what exactly what it is. But you got a technical description for what people need. Like for someone like me. But yeah. Right now I'm just going to choose remind me later. Because of course I know the VM later. Or I could just minimize it. No. Actually I'm going to click remind me later for that. So here, right here is the App Store for Ubuntu. So I think knowing that we already did our Ubuntu review a while back. Yeah. So like I said, you got your store, which is a fork of the GNOME store. GNOME software, which, yeah. For example, I can just put let's just find something that's small. I don't know what's up with my internet right now. Well, I'm gonna shove Steam over to another window. What does this thing? See if that's down crap, but yeah, I don't know what the heck's going on. Take 10 years. 8 minutes. Yeah, let's just shove some like VLC in this. I just were to put my password. Get out of the way, go to the other desktop. Okay. Yup. You're obviously not open, so you quit. So now that should install. You can install it as a snap, which is Ubuntu's little default. That's not my recommended. Because my recommended is always, if it's in the distros repositories, default like repositories, like packaged repositories, or it's available as a .deb file anywhere, then guess what? And that's my recommended place for you to get it. the distros repositories. As the distros repositories is where you're going to get the variant of it that's the most compatible, the most well integrated with everything on the system. It's if you ever need to debug it, you'll literally just be able to type in something like VLC in the terminal and just spit out the geek stuff you want it. But yeah, I switched over to down from Ubuntu Jammy. It'll download from there. It's going to take a little bit. So yeah, if y'all haven't noticed already though, compared to Ubuntu LTS 20.04, this is using GNOME 40, which has some changes, let's just say for that. Changes over GNOME 30. I mean, GNOME 3.0 or 3.8, which I believe Ubuntu 20.04 was using. Which, yeah. So, for example, one thing that I'm not happy about is they took away the blur. Or the transparency. They basically, they made you go up here, do it, and they're like, had you put a dock and you clicked it, which over here, and they brought it up. Like, that's cool. They took away the blur, though. Like, bruh, I want my blur. At least there's Shell icon that does it, but it doesn't go well with dash dog, which I do not know why. But yeah. Actually, there is a way to make it go with dash dock well without a problem. So that does fix a problem right there. Yeah, I think I should make a separate video on how to fix Ubuntu up a bit. Like things I recommend doing it to. So yeah. For like beginner. Like things I just do. So yeah. Like I said, it's Ubuntu 42 specifically for this. Which means half these are going to be a bit more difficult to theme. Even Ubuntu tweaks are not going to do it. I mean, even GNOME tweaks is not going to do the job here. libadvita is not as easy to theme as GTK. GTK, in fact, is referred to as legacy applications in libadvita is referred. GTK is referred to as. Let me find it. I do not know why it's taking a little bit. So it does that. So if I can, so I'm going to show you right here what it's literally referred to as now, GTK. So this uses YARU. And thing is, Ubuntu forked libadvita to use YARU. So yeah, but if we were to have it use Advita, which is GNOME tweaks, I think is still using GTK. The GTK is no longer just referred to as just theme. It's now referred to as just legacy application themes. Which means they're about to throw GTK under the bus for this. What do you final? So, for example, I don't think they actually changed all of it, though. No. Oh, I must be an idiot. Guess it didn't go that far. Thank the Lord, man. Okay, so, yeah. So, yeah, the brain took a little dump right there, but, yeah. Some minor changes they made was, well, files icon now actually fits more YARU, and they took out the purple a bit and tried bringing the orange a bit more around here and YARU things up a bit more, if you would call that. And if you were to go over to settings, you're going to like what they just implemented. Which I think is probably the highlight, what everyone's loved about this so far. Accent colors, which is something I've wanted for in Ubuntu for a long time. Not everyone likes the orange, okay? Even Windows, probably even Windows and Mac OS, the least customizable operating systems out there, have this. Ubuntu somehow did not have this. And the best part of Ubuntu, went above and beyond with this, they did it to the, not only did you do it to the thing, they did it to the icons. The whole thing got the treatment. You can go with blue, you can go with green, you can go with Viridian. Go with red pink. You can go with orange. Normal Ubuntu. You can go with old school purple if you want. Mac OS blue, as I like to call it. But I'm going to go with my favorite color. And that's... But yeah. There were many other updates to this that Ubuntu 20.04 had that I'm not going to mention much. So yeah. So before I leave, I want to discuss exactly what an LTS is and what differentiates it between normal and release of Ubuntu. Normal release of Ubuntu is basically every 6 months. There's only one that's released every April, and every October. And those, I believe, have a year-long lifespan, I believe. I'm not sure, but yeah, 9 month, maybe. And then you have the LTS, which have, I believe, 5-year life cycles. I'm pretty sure even 2014, the LTS from 2014 even is getting some updates. Let's go on Ubuntu's website. Yeah. And that's kind of the beauty of LTS versions and Ubuntu overall. Ubuntu is stable. The older archives get shoved in a repository, aka practically museum. So you can grab an old Ubuntu ISO, set the repositories back to like the archived repositories. You got yourself practically in a Linux museum. Linux from 2010, which is something I like doing in past time. I think I should do that sometime. So yeah, let me just go on to Ubuntu.com. Does this see? I think it is. By the way, it didn't change that. And plus, I've heard a lot of people talk about this wallpaper. I think I forgot about it. Problem page. What a lie. And to be honest, this wallpaper is actually really nice. I'm not the biggest fan of it, though it's kind of unique on how they went. It looks very it looks like origami in my opinion. It looks like a jewel or origami. It looks like both, actually. But they also got other variants of it, so we go in here. They got what I like to call the classical Ubuntu variants, aka just the last few versions of Ubuntu type variants. They got the realism variants. They got the variants for people that don't like I want normal backgrounds, okay? Like, not everyone wants the art jellyfish. I'm not the biggest person for abstract, okay? Like, I like some natural backgrounds. So yeah, I'm going to leave it right there. Yeah. So if we literally go on Wikipedia, yeah, I think the Lord Wikipedia bought that domain. Otherwise, I'd be getting I would know my own Linux. That'd be hard for them to screw me up. But yeah, we go to Ubuntu version history, and we go to really trusty tar, which came out 8 years ago. Normal LTS support continued literally 3 years ago. Extended and extended security maintenance is available to people with Ubuntu Advantage as a separate commercial purchase, as was the case previously with 12.04. So you can still get some support for it in 2022 if you were to whoop out the bucks a little bit. We're having an Ubuntu Advantage account. Yeah. Then you have 16.04, which came out back in 2016, and which was the last LTS to include Unity. And in 2021, though, like, try to find out when it lost the. Yeah. Then you got 18.04, which is still being supported. 12.04, it's obviously still being supported. I mean, 20.04, and yeah, like. And literally, 16.04 was literally just discontinued for like normal LTS, literally last year, like 1 year ago. So they go for a while, and they're literally. So yeah, that's literally how LTSs work. They last for a while, and to be honest, and yes, you can update to an LTS and from an LTS version, just like normal Ubuntu versions. There's nothing preventing you from going from 20.04 to 20.10 to 21.04, 21.10, then 22.04, then 22.10, so and so forth. There's nothing preventing you from doing that. What LTS versions really are more for the businesses that want to use Ubuntu. Straight for stability. And that's mainly the big reason. As if you're a corporation, you want to use Ubuntu, you don't want your computer breaking all the time, okay? But even that's not a big problem with Linux anyways. Like, companies can get away with using Arch anyways. Arch or Manjaro now. And or OpenSUSE, Tumbleweed, Debian, Unstable. They won't have a problem now. Like, it's not much of a worry now. Yeah. I'll be honest. This is actually a pretty solid update for Ubuntu, and I actually love this update for Ubuntu. rather if I put this on my machine, no. I'm keeping Arch, okay? I'm doing quite comfortable where I am. And no, I don't wear a fedora, okay? I wear a cap. Everyone knows that. But yeah. I like fiddling around with Ubuntu. I will admit that. And I think my next video after this should be over if Ubuntu is rather should be like how I'd customize Ubuntu to my liking. Just how to improve Ubuntu for yourself. Like look wise, make it not look like plain rear. Maybe help it resemble more like Unity without installing Unity over it, because there's problems with that now. You want full on Unity, there's a distro for that. Free flavor of Ubuntu, and it's called Ubuntu Unity. Not official, but I wouldn't be surprised if it becomes official soon anyways. But yeah, this is bullshit here. Hope to see y'all next time. See ya.